Alright guys, we just watched Dragon Ball Super Broly and here is our thoughts about the film, and this is going to be straight from the top of our heads, so please bear with us. But all in all, the title of the video says everything. This film is better than you can even imagine and it was fantastic. Let's cue the intro and get this started. Alright, so we just watched the film. Yusuf, are you there? Let me know your thoughts and opinion. What do you think?
Oh my god, I have so much to say, but you know, we're going to try to summarize this within the time frame we have. Anyway, I just want to start off from the bat saying that this whole movie was mind-blasting. I would say definitely one of the best Dragon Ball movies out there. Probably,
I think it's the best Dragon Ball movie out there ever. I think this is one of the best Dragon Ball... I think this is one of the best pieces of Dragon Ball material that has ever been created. That's my opinion.
Yeah. To be honest, if someone is not into Dragon Ball or you know, you never watched it before, this is a good starting point. Watch this movie and then you'll be like, shit, this is amazing. But let's just get into this review. I want to start from the beginning, and what it is that straight away from the starting from the bat, the movie brought us back to the origins of the whole universe of Dragon Ball.
It basically explained to us how did Frieza become the leader of the Frieza Force, and he took over for King Cold, his father. It tells us the origin of the Scouter. It tells us the origin of how the Saiyans were selling planets under, you know, taking them over, fighting for that Frieza, and how cold Frieza was from the beginning. Literally, it was answering all the questions us as fans have had over the 25 years of Dragon Ball, and it was like, this movie was specifically for the fans. And if you know everything about the Dragon Ball universe, it just answered so many questions. Like, even introduced Ginyu Force back, and it said that this happened 41 years ago, and it was blowing my mind.
And the best bit about this is that I know there's a lot of things that people might say it was retconned and changed here and there, but I wouldn't say it's a contradiction or flaws. It's more of a clarification. Like, I'll give you an example where they made the Dragon Ball Minus manga more canonized, and they got Agine and they got Bardock sending Goku off to Earth. Goku looked a bit older. He had a battlesuit armor on, but even those little few points and changes that was made, I don't think it's a huge flaw, big difference here to the original conception, because it could be more of a clarification to what happened. And I love the fact that the references loads of things, like when we saw Vegeta later on with Raditz and
yeah, that was so sick.
He references brother Tarball. I mean, like, those are the things I wanted to see. I'm like,
yeah, there's just so much things going on in this movie that made it so consistent, and you can tell when they were writing the film. When I was watching it, I was like, wow, they really did put effort in making everything consistent. It's following all the laws, it's following all the character development that they have built over time in the 25 years of Dragon Ball. It's even consistent to Dragon Ball Super, and even hints towards that Dragon Ball Super is going to have a sequel, because Goku, Beerus, Whis and Vegeta are all mentioned that there's multiple universes, and why do they strive to be more powerful? Why do they want to fight the other universes? And then Broly comes and shows to them that they're not even the strongest in their own universe. He's stronger than them, and then they want to become stronger than him, and it's just so sick. I don't know how to...
But honestly, going back to the earlier point that we were making about how the consistency in story is fundamental, it also brings back the point that the previous Dragon Ball movies about Broly were so ridiculous. Like, when you have little Broly getting so pissed off at Goku by crying all the time, he somehow remembers his name, Kakarot, you know, all of these silly things.
Yeah, that was silly.
It's so silly. But this time we got a new Broly original story, which is so amazing. I'm like, both of us felt so related. Like, we felt sorry for this character. We felt like, yo, I like Broly. I actually sympathize with him, and he's not a freaking random, you know, crazy berserk, you know, saying that's running around. He has a legitimate story. The way he was treated by his father, him having no friends, the only friend he had
was an animal.
Yeah, everything, man. It was amazing.
And also, to bring up the point, right, you know, I agree with you. I think we as Dragon Ball fans agree that Broly, his previous story of why he hates Kakarot, everything, it was weak. That was the weakest thing about that Broly. But this Broly, that's his strongest thing. I don't know if that's just me, but this new Broly, I agree with you completely. I felt sorry for him. I understood his perspective. You know, the way they showcased how he adapted to normal society, because he has never been in normal society before. He was a loner, and then he gets his first girlfriend. You know, well, technically, I don't know, but I'm not gonna say anything. But there's this girl cares for him, his first friend outside the planet. He's never eaten chocolate or a protein bar before, and it was just really emotional, and I felt for him. Even Paragus, I know everyone's gonna hate on Paragus when you watch this film, but even I was backing Paragus's character because it was so well written, the way they showed his perspective too on what King Vegeta did to him. But then he kind of does something in the film, I don't want to spoil it. Yeah, but you can't really like defend Paragus after he does one of these actions, right? And just Broly in general, he's very well designed, excellent voice actor. The music was fantastic in this film. And another thing that was very surprising to me, let me know if you agree, Yusuf, but the movie surprisingly had a lot of good jokes and comedy. Like Goku, Bulma and Frieza were taking all the shine in that department, right? And the jokes don't fall flat.
Hey, listen, even Frieza's comedy was really amazing, man.
That's what I'm saying. And you know, the jokes actually made sense in accordance to the characters, and everyone in the theater that were watching it with us, they were laughing at how ridiculous the things were, and I thought it was sick writing. Do you agree?
I definitely agree. And just to add to that, I mean, apart from the humor side of it, the story was so consistent how it just developed throughout the whole plot from the beginning to end. It always referred back to the past, referred back to certain situations which, you know, Dragon Ball fans can relate to and say, yo, they mentioned that, they mentioned this. Even the gag, like Bulma wishing to be a bit younger.
Yeah, because we were all wondering, why is Bulma so young for her age? And then they explained it. It was like, whoa. Wow, they actually thought about that. And also another thing I want to compliment about this film is the directing and the transitions. The way it was directed, like they kept using reference material to the older Dragon Ball material.
Oh my god, that transition though, you know when they went from the past to the future?
Yeah.
That was one of the best transitions ever.
And the way that they were displaying the information to us, it was so seamless, and it was just fantastic because it integrated everything, and we were like, oh, now I know what he means. And they kept referring to Jiren, they kept referring to the other universes, as I stated, but also the other Dragon Ball arcs, like, you know, the Frieza arc and the Vegeta Saiyan arc. They referred to all the other Cell arcs too. Did you notice that?
I saw that, and you saw little clips of all of them in those little flashbacks. But you know what I also liked about the beginning of the whole movie was how much they fleshed out little points that which wasn't given to us before. Like for instance, the hierarchy in the Saiyan race.
Yeah.
The difference, the warrior race, the warriors, the scientific Saiyans, the one who rides spacecraft, they're not all the same.
Yeah.
And it shows the society and civilization of planet Vegeta, which maybe we knew kind of before, but now we can see that actual interaction between them two. And the Gene and Bardock's interaction was really good, and how Gene said sane men aren't supposed to care about their son.
Yeah, it was so consistent. Again, we keep saying that, but that's what's shocking us, man. Dragon Ball being consistent, what?
Yeah. No, but honestly, I did enjoy that bit. But moving forward, let's go to that.
Let's talk about the fight now. We've been talking about the thing. The fight itself, alright, Broly, right? This was 50 minutes of fighting. There was so much fighting in this movie, I actually got kind of tired of it because there's so much sick animation. There was so much going on. Everyone was going crazy in the theater. When Vegeta went Super Saiyan God, that was such an epic moment.
Oh my god, the animation was like Madhouse TV.
Holy.
Like, you know when you watch One Punch Man and it's like top quality shit? It was like a 10 out of 10.
Bro, Vegeta looked so epic as Super Saiyan God, and then Vegeta was knocking him out, but everything, Broly was so powerful, he gets so powerful to the point that when Goku gets bored, Goku goes Super Saiyan God form, and Broly's still in his base form, you know, so it puts it into perspective how broken Broly is, right? But then the film even explains that Broly is learning as the fight goes on, and he's adapting to them, and it also explains that he has a crazy multiplier that keeps going on non-stop, which made everything logical as to why he eventually could take on those greater forms.
Yeah, because a lot of people can think like, what the frick, Broly he's not even Super Saiyan yet, how is he taking on a god form? That makes zero sense.
Yeah.
But it does make sense actually, if you think about it, is the fact that Broly himself, he's technically absorbing the battle skills of whoever he's fighting.
Yeah.
Before, he only fought Paragus. So the first moment when he was getting knocked over by Vegeta, it made sense because he was in Paragus level of fighting skills.
Yeah.
But the more he fought Vegeta, he became more like Vegeta. And then once Vegeta was done,
and they kept showcasing that, like Broly was stealing their moves.
Yeah, like Goku, when Goku did that, Paul stopped him in and he froze him for a bit, You see how Broly overcame him and did the same move against him?
Yeah. That was so sick. And the voice acting that's when the voice acting came into play, because the voice actor for Goku, Sean Shamel, yeah, the way he reacted to the attacks, you could feel his pain, the way it was directed. He zooms into Goku's face like, oh my god, Goku's taking so much damage from Broly. And then the most insane thing happens. Frieza becomes a douchebag, the most evil piece of shit ever. This is kind of spoilerish.
Yeah, this is spoiler. This is spoiler alert. You guys can skip it. Go for it. Explain what happened, Adam.
Right, so then Broly's about to lose against Goku and Vegeta because they're in blue form, right? Then Frieza says, you know what? I'm gonna kill Broly's father in front of him. So he kills Paragus, and then Broly.
But you know what? This was a reference because you can see Frieza having a little flashback of
Yeah.
how Goku transformed for the first time, how he killed Krillin, and from that action, Goku became a beast mode.
Yeah.
So he wanted freaking Broly to be like Goku and transform into Super Saiyan, and he triggered it. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make him into a freaking Super Saiyan, and he did. That's why I respect Frieza. I mean, like, Frieza's a smart person. He knows what he's doing. He's manipulative, and he's an evil piece of shit, but still in it.
Yeah, that was just crazy. And then Broly goes Super Saiyan, and this is like 30 minutes into the fight. Like, this is how long this fight is, and it's just so fantastic. The choreography was amazing. I don't know how much more compliments I can give this film, but I'm gonna keep going. But there was only one flaw that I saw in this film while watching it, and it's basically when Broly goes Super Saiyan, he's battering both Vegeta and Goku. And then they even do a joke where Broly ends up fighting Frieza because Goku decides that they need to do fusion, and you guys all know this. Gogeta happens, it was revealed in the trailer. But then they fuse into Gogeta. They do the mistake twice, so they fuse for 30 minutes twice. But that means Frieza was fighting Broly for 1 hour, which I found that very hard to believe, and I find that to be a flaw.
It was actually more than 1 hour if you think about it, because technically if you go back to the manga, you realize that if you fuse for 30 minutes, you have a 1 hour cooldown period, right? Unless they cut completely.
They retconned that now. It's retconned.
Yeah, they retconned it, and there's no cool off period, which is kind of makes the whole fusion technique OP.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or they might have changed the rules that it depends on how much ki you use while you're on the fusion. But either way, let's say it was 1 hour of fusion plus 2 hours, of cooldown period because they did it twice. Yes.
No, but I think they officially said that that's retcon though. So it was 1 hour.
Fine, forget about the cool off period. There's 1 hour of fighting Frieza and freaking. That's mad. Frieza, like, he's in golden form here, getting battered by this monster.
Yeah.
How is he not dead yet?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy how Frieza didn't die to that. But then Gogeta happens, and then Gogeta mentions that Broly is on Beerus' power level or stronger.
Oh no! But before you go into that, there was a quick scene where Broly batters Frieza, right? And then from Frieza he goes to Whis. And Whis, honestly, you can see how OP Whis is, because Whis doesn't take any damage.
He dodges everything. Yeah, I thought like the thing that they did right in this film was that the fan service is amazing. Like, Dragon Ball always does that right, where there's a lot of fan service. And when Gogeta, for example, when he fights Broly, he does the classic move where the sparkle attack, I don't know what it's called, and it explodes everywhere. And we remember that from the previous film, but they made that canon. They know what we want as fans, and that's what I found to be fantastic. And it kept blowing my mind over and over. And I was like, wow, this movie has literally put Dragon Ball Super back on my radar, and I want that anime to come back so I can start making videos on it again.
But you know what? I didn't want to bring this up, but there was quite a few, maybe due to budgeting and whatnot, there was some few things that I noticed which could have been improved on. And definitely I have to say, for me personally, I think the animation was not consistent.
No, that was only 35 minutes into the fight though. Like, it went 2D, 3D in some parts.
No, not even that, I found there's issues here and there. I'll tell you what, for the first 30 minutes of the movie, I think it's 10 out of 10 animation, and I wish they did apply this to the actual Dragon Ball Super anime when in the future, but I don't think they can. But let's say the first 30 minutes was awesome, and then suddenly during the fight there was CG. Some people might like it, some people don't like it, where it looks like you're playing a PS2 game and you got a little bit of cutscenes going on here and there.
Yeah, I think everyone in the theater agreed with that when we asked them too.
And then there's a scene when Goku and Vegeta they Goku to instant transmit back to Piccolo, so somewhere away from the fight. So for a few moments, you can see Goku and Vegeta, they're just pixelated. I mean, the body's not defined no more. Goku's body is just like a flat pancake.
I noticed that too, to be honest.
Yeah, his chest suddenly, deformed. Like, I mean, one chest...
I noticed that straight away. No homo though.
It was just a random frame, which I'm like, whoa, did they miss this frame? Did someone not freaking go with this frame by accident? What's going on here? And, I mean, apart from the inconsistency with the animation, to me it hit 10 out of 10, maybe to 6 out of 10.
So in the end,
in animation.
Spoilers, Broly ends up getting a girlfriend. Broly becomes friends with Goku. What do you think about that?
I think that was good, man. And to be honest, I didn't want him to be friends with Goku. I like the fact that Goku went to Broly and said, "Yo, let's train."
I found that sick too. And Broly smiles at Goku, and I was like, "Wow, Broly's gonna become a good guy," and it's a whole plot. Oh my god, I like that shit so much.
I like that shit. Hey, what do you think about the theme songs, the soundtrack?
I thought the songs were really good. It went really well with the fights, man.
Okay, I'll be honest,
I think that's because we were in the cinema though, and the bass and everything was fantastic. I don't know, but
I think the songs was amazing. I can't lie about that. But there was times where I felt kind of underwhelmed, especially when we saw Gogeta, for instance. Yeah, I mean, you got some really good it gets you hype. OST in the background, but when Goku turned into Ultra
oh yeah, it was some heavy metal music or something.
Yeah, but when Goku turned into Ultra Instinct Super, that theme.
Oh yeah, you wanted something like that, Ultra Instinct.
I wanted something like that. Yes.
Oh, that would have been so sick.
Yeah.
Overall, what would you give this film out of 10?
8 out of 10, definitely.
I give this film an 8.5 out of 10. I think it was one of the best anime films ever created. But overall, that's everything that we want to say at the end of the day. And let us know your opinion in the comment section below. And I guess that's pretty much it. Anything else you want to say?
No, that's pretty much it. Alright guys, make sure you hit the like button. Don't forget to do that yet. Press the like button. Press it.
Alright, calm down. Alright, see you guys next time.